Hi, I'm Snowy and welcome to my television studies video essay. Today we're going to be taking a little look at what is quite possibly the most ingenious, entertaining and unique television series of all time.
It is connected!
Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency is a television series the likes of which you've never seen before. Created by Max Landis for BBC America and Netflix and originally airing in 2016, the show is an impressionistic adaptation of the Douglas Adams classic with storylines to thrill and amaze and characters you'll fall in love with again and again.
Suddenly, today, everything changed.
Did you see an animal? Said they found paw prints.
Like a dog?
No. Also, you're fired.
Hi, my name is Dirk Gently. I'm a detective.
You don't look like a private detective.
Well, no private detective looks like a private detective. That's one of the first rules of private detection.
Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency was first published in 1987. The second in the series is entitled The Long Dark Teatime of the Soul, and Adams has intended to follow up with a third novel called The Salmon of Doubt. But sadly he died on May 11th, 2001 before he was able to complete it, and instead The Salmon of Doubt became a collection of various other pieces of his work. So, what is Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency about?
A missing girl, her murdered father.
It is strange, isn't it?
Give me the dog or kill her.
Give us the her, or we'll throw the dog off the bridge. I'm bluffing, but if he shoots her, throw the dog off the bridge.
Executive producer of the 2016 show, Arvind Ethan David, is a British film producer, founder of Slingshot Productions and executive director of Idea Media. He first adapted the Dirk Gently novel as a high school play more than 20 years ago, before he picked up the writer's pen himself with Dirk Gently's A Spoon Too Short. When asked why he chose Dirk Gently over the more widely known Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, his reply was that they felt it was more natural fit for an episodic continuing series, and by contrast, a detective that investigates impossible cases in impossible ways gave them much more of an engine that works for comics and TV. They were never aiming for a direct adaptation, and instead were aiming to take Dirk off on new adventures true to the tone of the original works and Dirk's character, but not trying to make them into something they're not or squeeze them into mediums they didn't fit. When asked to describe the TV show in one sentence, the creator and writer Max Landis, best known for works such as Chronicle, Bright, American Ultra, Victor Frankenstein and Mr. Right, replied,
"In one sentence, it's a thriller, a very funny thriller that isn't necessarily a comedy, although you will laugh a lot, about a group of people who seem disparate and only tangentially, vaguely relevant to each other, some not at all, who are gradually proven through the inexplicable ties of the universe itself, coincidence and the rarer, sexier coinky-dinks, to be all part of one thing." And at its center is a man named Dirk Gently.
So who is Dirk Gently?
I am Dirk Gently! I am Dirk Gently!
Samuel Barnett gives an incredible and outstanding performance in his lead role as the main character of the show. Dirk is a self-proclaimed holistic detective who uses the interconnectedness of all things to solve cases.
Have you ever actually solved a case? Sure, tons. Well, some.
Dirk has the ability to sense the connections between seemingly unrelated and random things and people. However, he has no idea what to do with the information he gleans, and basically just trusts the universe to lead him to wherever he needs to be to do whatever he needs to do at the time.
Perhaps every day before now has for the most part been humdrum and inane. Your life a mundane, unvarying slog through unfulfilling jobs, shallow depression, and boring sex. Suddenly, today, everything changed.
Todd, portrayed by Elijah Wood, is an average guy with a mediocre life that is already rapidly falling apart at the seams when Dirk shows up. But despite his continuing unwillingness to get involved, he gets swept down the rabbit hole into Dirk's crazy world regardless.
You seem stressed out. Is everything okay over there?
You're going to die! Let her go!
Everything's fine.
Todd's younger sister, Amanda, played by Hannah Marks, suffers from a disease called pararibulitis, a hereditary defect that has been passed down through the previous 5 generations. Pararibulitis is a fictional disease where misfirings in the brain cause terrible hallucinations that feel real and leave her living in constant fear of an attack. Due to this, Amanda has remained an agoraphobic recluse for over 5 years and has no friends or social life, so the arrival of Dirk and the craziness that follows him is an exciting and welcome distraction, and she longs to be involved. This is a wish that is answered by Blackwing's Project Incubus, a group of anarchistic energy vampires called the Rowdy Three, even though there's 4 of them, who can relieve the suffering of her attacks by feasting on her pain and emotions. This also causes Amanda to have strange visions and premonitions of the dangers to come their way. Farah Black, played by Jada Shet, is easily the most competent one of the whole crazy bunch. Her whole family was in law enforcement, and when she was young, her father put her into all sorts of training and advanced placements. But she refused entry into the Army Rangers FBI Naval Intelligence due to her psychological profile, and eventually followed in her father's footsteps and became Chief Security Officer to the Spring family and Patrick Spring's bodyguard. When her boss is killed and his daughter is kidnapped, she finds herself working alongside Dirk and Todd to solve both cases. But just like every other character in the Dirk Gently show, beneath that professional surface she's brimming with underlying neuroses that are gradually revealed as the show progresses. Another awesomely unique and insane badass and my favourite female TV character of all time is the one and only Bartine Kurlish, played by the incredible Sophia Jarif. Bart, also known as Project Marzana, is a holistic assassin who was also part of Project Blackwing before she too left under unknown circumstances. Just like Dirk, she believes that all things are connected. Bart is not the usual kind of assassin we're used to in spy movies and such. She is far from a sleek and sexy seductress with a cunning mind and flawless, highly trained skill set. Bart's methods are definitely more martial than art. Being a Blackwing subject from age 13 when Mr. Priest found her and brought her in, she was isolated from society and has very little knowledge of how the modern world works at all. And despite her initial vulgarity in episodes of utter crass carnage, she's actually a very sweet and innocent and lonely girl. And even though she was always aware there were others like her at Blackwing, she was never able to meet any of them, and previous to her introduction in the show, nobody had said a word to her in over 5 years. One night, the name Dirk Gently came to her in a dream. As her purpose in life had been killing people, she concluded she was supposed to kill Dirk and set out to find him, kidnapping Ken along the way. The character Ken Adams, played by the actor that guy right there, is an electrician who was hired by a cult called the Men of the Machine to build a weird device for them. It was whilst he was attempting to complete the job that Bart kidnapped him.
It was good you decided to come with me.
You said you'd kill me if I didn't go.
But unlike Todd with Dirk, Ken becomes a willing sidekick to Bart in her quest to find her target, and is much more accepting and open to the idea of the whole holistic interconnectedness thing than Todd is. Amongst the many roles I've just mentioned, there are many more uniquely bizarre and iconic characters along the way to enjoy, including the Blackwing operatives Colonel Scott Riggins and his idiotic corporal Hugo Feek, portrayed by Miguel Sandoval and Dustin Milligan.
Top secret.
Also, we have fellow Blackwing subjects such as the aforementioned Rowdy Three, led by Michael Eklund as Martin, the shapeshifter or holistic actress called Mona Wilder, played by Alexa Fast, as well as many other characters and familiar faces that feature throughout the second series, including Alan Tudyk as the psychotic Mr. Priest,
It's gonna be a wild one!
Tyler Labine and Izzy Steele as Sheriff Sherlock Hobbs and his recovering drug addict alcoholic understudy Tina Tevatino, John Hannah as the evil mage, and Amanda Walsh as his power-crazed apprentice Susie Borton. Believe me when I tell you there are no Mary Sues in this show. Nothing ever goes right for anybody, and the various representations of all of the male and the female characters are as equally complex and organic as the next. There is no real representation or misrepresentation of either sex really. Just as with everyday people like you and me, the characters simply are who they are inside, and it is this that defines them, their needs and their actions and motives throughout. Rarely do we see such three-dimensional, multifaceted and rounded full characters on screen as we do in Dirk Gently. Many believe that women in film are shown in a non-positive light, but that cannot be said here. In many ways, both the men and the women are simultaneously tough and macho and also weak and vulnerable. The female characters in the show are neither dependent on the males nor play second limelight to them. They're neither submissive or hypersexual, which makes a nice change from so many other works out there. The absence of love interest stories and lack of romance is just one of the many things that sets Dirk Gently apart from other shows of similar genres. So how else does this show differ? Put simply, Dirk Gently is like nothing you've ever seen before or are likely to again. First off, just trying to pigeonhole Dirk Gently into a particular genre borders on impossible. It's an amalgamated hybrid of sci-fi, adventure, supernatural, fantasy, action, horror, mystery, comic, superhero, drama, thriller and comedy. And it is definitely in a league and category all of its own. One thing that I find particularly unique about it is how through the entire show nobody has any clue what is actually going on. Usually there is at least one character that always seems to have all the answers or is working out the answers that the audience already knows. But in Dirk Gently, it's quite the opposite.
This guy again. This is it. He'll explain everything. He's gonna have the answers. I've been waiting for you two for a long time. What is going on? Who are you guys? Did Patrick Spring hire you? If not, then what are you? Are you detectives? No, because you're a bellhop. You were at the hotel. And you're who? What, the FBI? No? Then how does the FBI figure into this? Who shot Ned? How did you know that Farah Black was gonna be in that apartment? I mean, what kind of crazy coincidence is that? Where's the kid? Where's my dog? Why did you burn down my house? Who has my dog right now? Is it the police? Did the police have my dog? Who beat up Ed and Zed? Was it your guys? Other guys? How many different sets of guys are in this situation?
If Sherlock Holmes and Doctor Who had a secret love child, it would be Dirk Gently. Full of high energy action, it has all the sci-fi fantasy and manic adventure of Doctor Who, but kept very grounded and real and believable in spite of the extremities it takes your imagination to. And it has all the drama and mystery of Sherlock without the intellectual competence or his arrogant snobbery. If Dirk had a mind palace, it would probably be full of colourful jackets and empty pizza boxes. It's not often something is adapted that actually gains flavour while simultaneously capturing the original spirit and also creating something entirely new. Although Douglas Adams' Dirk has always had his place in popular culture, the Max Landis version's time was cut short when it was cancelled just 2 days after the season finale on December 18th, 2017. Fans started a petition at change.org to renew Dirk Gently for season 3 and future episodes, but unfortunately it did not result in cancelling the show. However, we all still hope to see it picked up again by a network one day. Well, that concludes my video essay. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching!
Everything is connected. Nothing is also connected.